24년 3월 1일 메인스토리 5장 동굴 속의 죄수 이어서 해볼까나. 아이고, 아우, 저녁 사러 나갔다 왔는데 왜 이렇게 추운겨 날씨가. 아유, 이어서 가볼까나. 침묵의 회의. PV에 나온 그 장면 나오려나? 일단 아르카나가 여기 있어. 뭔가 사건이 터질 것 같다. 제발.
Before you enter the Great Hall, please place your right palm on the stone and swear to it solemnly.
선서하세요. 소녀는 눈을 감고 경건하게 묵념하기 시작했다.
I wish to be baptized in the water of Gnosis and be rid of the long darkness of ignorance.
폐쇄적인 마도학자 사회로 들어가는구나.
I ask my tongue to be taken, for it has spoken mindless words, and I shall stay silent for the truth.
진리를 위해 침묵하겠습니다.
I choose to leave the fragments of matters behind me and enter the great hall of forms as clean as a newborn.
뜨거워.
I swear to let matters stay in the world of matter and a form in the world of forms. I swear to reveal no secrets, or my heart shall be taken by the vulture, my body consumed in flames, my soul trapped in the endless wheel of birth.
살벌하다, 살벌해.
Now, knock 3 times on the stone. Put on these ceremonial dresses.
설마?
That'd be all. Remember to enter the hall from the right and leave from the left.
우측으로 들어가서 좌측으로 나와야 한다.
You are the humblest audience here, hence not allowed to speak. Please, stay quiet and keep the secrets you heard at heart.
반드시 침묵을 지켜야 하며 비밀을 엄수해야 한다.
I will arrange your meeting with 6 after this.
No problem. Miss Sophia, could you give us some privacy?
Please enjoy. I have nothing more to say.
다른 이들은 안중에 없는 듯 소피아는 휙 자리를 떠나버렸다.
Vertsin, are we really going to do this? That oath we have to make to enter the hall sounds vicious.
맞아, 너무 극단적인데? 침묵을 안 지키면은 독수리가.
To stay quiet and keep the secrets. It's similar to the training we once received. I can go inside on behalf of Timekeeper. No, I'll come with you, Sonetto. But I can't sense any sign of arcane skill on this stone. The oath is more of a formality than a curse.
그냥 평범한 의식을 치르고 들어간다.
The warning is lifted then?
경보 해제?
But when Sophia repaired the floor in front of us with her arcane skill, there's no fluctuation of arcane power either. I can't even sense the slightest signs.
마도수를 썼는데 왜 못 느꼈지? 완전히 다른 거라서?
It's either a kind of arcane skills we're not able to detect,
뭐 파동이 다르기라도 한 거야? 왜 못 알아차리는 거지?
or the moment we stepped onto this island, we've been trapped in a tremendous ritual.
이게 가능성 높아 보이네. 이미 뭔가 주문에 걸려서 못 알아차렸다.
That's to say, any arcanum used on this island is only a part of this giant flow. We don't know where this flow is leading us. We know nothing about it. It's too perilous, Timekeeper. I know, Sonetto.
나도 알아.
But as long as we obey their rules, we won't get into other trouble. The doctrine of the Aperon is to live in solitude and seek nothing but the truth. In fact, they've never been aggressive towards us.
I think of this differently.
이렇게 억압하는 것 자체가 이미 폭력 아니야, 근데?
Think. The pure-blood arcanist community, the unknown arcanum power, and the obsession with certain knowledge or identity. Sound familiar?
이게 재건을 떠올리게 한다는 거구나.
Yet, we haven't spotted any traces of the Manus here.
Manus Vindictae is like the rat living in the gutter. I don't think they will let go such a favorable chance.
오, 릴리아 굉장히 똑똑해.
Which means we need to find out the truth.
I believe in Timekeeper.
릴리아가 손을 휘휘 저었다.
I have zero interest
안
in this
들어가는구나,
meeting.
릴리아는 이래서.
I'll stay outside to keep a lookout. Take care.
망설일 시간이 없었다. 문은 이미 눈앞에 서 있었다. 문이 열리네요. 손바닥을 겹치고 속으로 맹세한다.
I wish to be baptized in the water of Gnosis and be rid of the long darkness of ignorance.
I ask my tongue to be taken, for it has spoken mindless words, and I shall stay silent for the truth.
I choose to leave the fragments of matters behind me and enter the great hall of forms as clean as a newborn.
I swear to let matter stay in the world of matter, and a form in the world of forms.
I swear to reveal no secrets. All my heart shall be taken by the vulture, my body consumed in flames, my soul trapped in the endless wheel of birth.
걸린 거 아니야 이 순간? 전도자의 강당. 장내에는 빈자리를 찾아볼 수 없었다.
Fellow brothers, sisters, our quest for Gnosis had suffered 3 unprecedented crises.
210이야 이 친구는. 약간 익숙한 누군가를 떠오르게 하는 외형이네.
First was the discovery of irrational numbers, and
And
then the creation of imaginary numbers. Last was the loss of the grand unification of different lineages. The truth was buried, and history was rewritten. But the emanation is not a crisis. Instead, it's our last salvation.
재건 냄새 나는데 이 자식.
The supreme existence has once again shown itself to us. The door to the everlasting transcendent world of forms has opened once again. As Numa pours down, things are rewound to the world of light. Everything in the world of matter breaks into pieces, for they are as delicate as a petal before it. We, who have the honor to witness the emanation of Numa, have the privilege to survive the turning of the Wheel of Birth. Because we know the truth.
이 자식 선동 잘하는데.
Our survival is destined. It is the beginning of a mission to bring the unseen truth into this world.
열렬한 박수 소리가 터져나왔지만 그 누구도 입을 열진 않았다.
Thank you.
허리 숙여 감사 인사를 전한 연설자는 손으로 홀 한쪽을 가리켰다.
The next orator is 37, our smallest irregular prime, and the brightest star of Hermes.
똑똑한 친구. 노. 박수 소리가 퍼졌다. 진리를 위한 고요였다.
The emanation in 1929 only lasted for 2 days. All methods to calculate the Numa emanation failed. We found no pattern in the occurrence of time reversal. All our efforts in the past 4 years have gone completely wasted. That's the end of my speech.
침묵. 긴 침묵이 이어졌다. 그러나 곧 누군가 손뼉을 치기 시작했다. 아르카나. 명령은 개인의 생각보다 더 중요하다. 그리고 사명은 모든 것을 우선한다. 소네토는 그렇게 훈련받았다.
Regno sereno intenso ed infinito.
Who did that?
이래서 피비의 그
Who
장면.
broke the silence?
침묵하는 이들이 일제히 고개를 돌리며 소네토에게 비난의 화살을 쏟아냈다. 환영은 어느새 사라진 뒤였다. 환영이었어?
Sorry, timekeeper. I just.
Get ready to run, Sonetto. The Abraxases are coming.
도망쳐! 오 마이 갓. 소네토는 할 일 한 거잖아. 할 일 한 거잖아.
What interesting accident will happen next?
오 마이 갓. 대왕 아브라삭스가.
Wow. Pitch. Easy job.
Professional.
Brave.
Given that.
Fight for the unarmed.
Form is above all.
Pitch. Easy job. Just a reminder. Watch your steps.
It could be found. Given that.
Mind the machines on the ground. Bang.
Time to check my calculation. Intersect and divide. Go away.
Merci.
Wow.
Brave.
마시.
Never hesitate.
중독봐.
Please live up to my expectations, colleague.
The sword is drawn.
Hey, you will be sorry.
Merci.
It could be found.
Brave.
이거 안에도 잡을 수 있을 것 같아.
Never hesitate.
Time to check my calculation.
I would like to express my deepest regret for the
업적은 이번에
accidents.
추가된 거구나. 이번 버전에 계속 뜨네. 깨작깨작 해적의 입증. 그 시각 레굴러스는
Can somebody tell me why I constantly get locked up ever since I've known Vertin?
아무도 눈길을 주지 않은 한 구석에서 로큰롤 해적이 고심에 잠겨 있었다.
First locked up in a suitcase, then a foundation cell, now this! Oh, what else could it be if Vertin weren't the jinx?
똑똑한데?
Lads! I know what's going on! You got the wrong person! She is the most irrational number here!
지하 감옥의 문은 끔찍도 하지 않았고 나무 창살은 레굴루스의 말에 관심도 없었다.
I'm knocked. What does it say here? Freedom will be granted once the proof is completed.
뭐지?
That's to say, I have to prove myself not an irrational number to get out of here. Which is exactly what I've been trying to do, isn't it? Rat.
주먹을 불끈 쥐고 눈앞의 문을 힘껏 후려쳤다. 손 아파 엄마. 그녀는 밀어닥친 고통에 털썩 주저앉았다.
Captain, maybe you're in the wrong direction. This apple presumes that the followers on this island have a close connection with Pythagoreanism.
Pythagoras? That ancient Greek mathematician? The guy who said something about the opposite side of a right triangle?
A제곱 플러스 B제곱은 C제곱 이거 맞나? 피타고라스가?
Isn't he the guy who
기억이 안
lives in
나네. 하도 옛날에
sometime
배워서.
BC?
Maths is only a part of the Pythagoreans' achievement, but from a more universal perspective, they are a mysterious group of scholars. Believing things are made up of numbers, venerating integer numbers, abstaining from
공섭치
beans,
금지.
and the religious collective lifestyle. These are all pointing to Pythagoreanism.
그리스 이번 거가 그리스 테마라고 하더니 이런 걸 따온 거였어? 피타고라스 학파. 채식주의. 콩을 독특한 것은 콩을 먹지 못하도록 했다는 것. 이유는 삼각수, 사각수 등을 나타내기 위해 점으로 쓰던 것이 콩이라서 투표에 콩을 썼기 때문에 버진 콩 모양이 생식기와 유사한 모습이어서 등 다양하다. 잠두콩. 피타고라스가 특히 잠두콩을 금기시했다는 점에서 그가 GUPD 결핍증을 앓았던 것은 아니냐는 관측이 있다. 별 규율이 다 있네. 집 밖에서 뒤를 돌아보지 말라.
The earliest Pythagorean school perished because of the discovery of irrational numbers, which explains their odium of it.
세상의 근원은 수다라고 주장하며 신은 수학적으로 세상을 창조했다라고 말하는 학파라고 하네. 피타고라스 학파가.
At that time, a deviant student named Hippasus discovered root 2, and the theories based on the ratio of integers they hold dear were upended. Hippasus himself was drowned in the sea. This apple assumes they see the integers as the standard of virtue, and people can increase the number they rank through study and self-improvement. Besides, they are convinced that a numerical code is hidden in everything and everyone. Whoever can solve the code can obtain the truth of the world.
All right. Now I know what's going on.
레굴루스가 바닥에서 벌떡 일어났다.
This pirate has had enough of this moral standard, which is obviously prudish, backward, and lacks humanitarian spirit.
맞는 말이긴 해.
I'm going to tackle the root cause of this misfortune.
자유신봉자 해적은 감옥문 앞에서 빙글빙글 돌더니 창살의 헐거운 부위를 냅다 잡아당기기 시작했다.
I'm breaking out!
Prison break.
Why am I not surprised? The captain quickly gives the sufficient and prerequisite condition to prove herself an irrational number. This apple may be able to offer some help.
애플이 벽에 손을 올린 순간 격렬한 진동이 느껴졌다.
What's happening? An earthquake?
날짐승의 날갯짓 소리가 동굴 안에 울려 퍼졌다. 1등 항에서 애플은 감옥 틈새를 비집고 나가 정찰 업무를 완수했다.
All Abraxases are flying in the same direction. Is this their habit? Or...
지금 터졌구나 전당에서.
Ah! The roof is about to collapse. So far, this place has made the London Juvenile Detention Centre a heaven on earth.
다행히 이 넓은 객실이 낙석으로 가득 찬 일은 없었다. 레골리우스는 기운을 차리고 다시 탈옥에 박차를 가하기 시작했다. 조금 전 붕괴 때문인지 동굴 내부에 서늘한 안개가 퍼져나가고 있었다. 하지만 나무문은 여전히 꿈쩍도 하지 않았다.
Oh, is there a piece of paper? Did one of the Abraxases drop this? Strange.
뭐지?
The unsolvable puzzle. Is this a math problem?
뭐야? 나 어지러워.
0.4, 0.7, 1, 1.6, 2.8, 5.2, 10 and 19.6. 8 numbers in total are listed in this order.
피보나치잖아. 0.3, 0.3, 0.6, 1.2. 여기는 2.4? 많은 것 같은데?
There are 8 symbols below, respectively representing the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn and Uranus. Maybe it is a hint that we should fill the symbols in the blank box after the numbers. That sign says to complete the proof. Does it mean to solve this puzzle?
Ha! How unsolvable can it be? Clearly, each of these 8 numbers should represent one planet. We can easily find the missing planet by trying them one by one. And our Mr. Apple here is the king of the Times crossword. Yes?
그치?
I think there is a difference between this and a crossword.
둥글고 매끄러운 붉은 과실이 아래턱을 문지르며 풀리지 않는 수수께끼를 가만히 살펴보았다.
In this apple's humble opinion, the ratio of certain numbers should match this number sequence, such as the radius, volume, or rotation period.
Wouldn't the sun be absurdly large if these numbers stand for their sizes?
어디선가 들려오는 찍찍 소리에 레골루스가 생각을 멈췄다. 언제 온 건지 부스럭거리는 작은 그림자가 레골루스의 발치에 다가와 있었다.
Hey! The underground critters are back! Go away! Don't touch my note! It's not your food!
Who ate beans?
덤벼라.
Brave.
Merci.
Ha! Fight for the unarmed.
Hey!
Dang, dang.
Huh? Wow.
Given that.
Huh. Whoops. An accident.
Are you irrational
Accident?
numbers?
Please live up to my expectations, Commons.
A perfect argument.
Wow. Huh.
Intersect and divide.
Whoops. An accident. Whoops. An accident.
The final demonstration.
Just a reminder. Watch your steps.
Brave.
Welcome to the world of numbers.
Mind the machines on the ground. Bang.
짱.
Fight for the unarmed.
Victory? Okay, but what does it mean to us? I mean, what does it...
Hold on, please, Captain. Seems like the critters are trying to tell us something. They are pointing at the sign of the sun.
Is that so? Even the critters on this island know math. The sun. What if the sun is just here to serve as a reference point? I read an IAU's report in the Times 2
태양으로부터의
years ago.
거리를 얘기하는 건가?
The International Astronomical Union. Earth's average distance to the sun is approximately 93 million miles. As for Mercury, the average distance is 36 million, and Venus 67 billion miles. Let's say if we take the distance between Earth and the Sun as one astronomical unit, then the distance between the Sun and Mercury would be approximately 0.4 units, and Venus 0.7 units. There you go. These numbers are the ratio of their average distance to the Sun to the Earth-Sun distance.
보이지 않는 빛이 머리를 번쩍 스쳐 지나간 것처럼 머리를 스쳐 지나갔다. 예전에 배웠던 어렴풋한 지식이 순간 또렷하게 떠올랐다. 수금지와 목도 천의 명이었나? 모든 것은 순리대로 흘러가기 마련이다.
The average distance from Mars to the Sun is about 142 million miles. Jupiter about 484 million miles. Saturn 886 million miles and Uranus 1.786 billion miles.
아니 근데 거리가 어떻게 이러지?
By rough calculation, and if we round the results to one decimal place, Mars would be 1.6 unit, Jupiter 5.2 unit, Saturn 10 unit, and Uranus 19.6 unit. That's weird. All these numbers one can hardly remember have become so clear in my mind.
그러게 말입니다.
But if these numbers stand for the ratio of distance, what's the planet for 2.8? There's no planet between Mars and Jupiter.
없는데 수금지 화목이잖아.
If the Sun is the reference, we will have one planet missing here. Is it really a puzzle unsolvable?
Aha! Nothing is unsolvable. You are looking at the solution. There must be one planet out there, unknown to us as of yet, located between Mars and Jupiter.
뭐야? 그 순간 바닥에서 엄청난 진동이 느껴졌다.
What now?
모임. 아니 뭐야? 응? 응? 선체가 떠올랐다? 아무 전조도 없이 갑작스럽게 차갑고 습한 어두컴컴한 이 동굴 안에서 밝고 거대한 그 존재는 의심의 여지가 없었다.
What is this?
여기 이 섬에 들어온 순간부터 우리 뭔가 걸린 거라니까 지금.
A celestial body, which I have never seen before.
Captain, this apple has an impression on this. There is indeed a star between Mars and Jupiter. It is called the Ceres, discovered by Piazzi Giuseppe, an Italian priest in 1801.
세레스? 뭔가의 위성 아니야? 알고 보니까.
Ceres. Did we just validate its existence? Is the universe truly arranged according to this sequence? Could this be the ultimate key of everything?
세뇌된 거 아니야 뭔가?
Regulus! Regulus!
설마 자는 중이었다거나. 누군가 다급하게 팔을 흔들었다.
What are you doing? Good food poisoning after accidentally eating one of those critters?
Odd. My head hurts. What was that?
선체는 모두 사라지고 동굴 안에는 습한 안개와 차가운 암벽만이 남아있었다. 그리고 무거운 표정의 릴리아까지.
I'll make it short. Sanetta is in detention. They're planning to sentence her to death by giving her the poisoned wine.
They what?
갑자기 사건이 급진전. 오 마이 갓.
As you can see, this school on the island lives in a box made by the truth. Even if they have a donut in their hands when they are hungry, they still see a topological space. Like the cute ring attached to an initiation toy. It's not food anyways. But if you give them a puzzle, they will enjoy it like the best Kaiserschmarrn. Oh, my apologies. I was not talking about the one you are holding. No. With all due respect, that thing in your hand is pretty old. The mold on it seems to come from the 18th century, judging from the smell. I'm sure you know it will make you sick if eaten. But we have to admit, it is not just ordinary mold. It reminds us of the story in which, once, a merchant's son looked up at the night sky and found the answer to the stars for us. The young man firmly believed that the movement of the stars and the sun follows certain laws, just like how the delicate gears in a watch work together. And his point was even proven correct by Zeus's grandfather. When another gentleman observed the sky through the reflecting telescope he took great pains to make, a celestial body was exactly there. What was it called? 19.6. The 8th number in the sequence, the 7th planet in the solar system, and the legendary God of the Sky. If the world was not created by God, are there any theories we can use to explain such a beautiful law? Yes, the one that says it never actually exists. Anyone can see the breach in this number sequence. That is the planet, which is supposed to be the 5th number in the sequence. I mean, how come we have never seen it before, if it does exist? Either God is wrong, or we've been blind all this time. What do you think? Oh, darling, I forgot that you are one of the boring people from the modern times. You need to understand that we are talking about a forgotten masterpiece from the 18th century. Back then, everyone still believed that the imaginary creatures living on the stars got to witness the birth of God's creations, and the everlasting temperature changes up there were set to punish the exiles. Oh, how romantic. It was a beautiful dream, but it was still ended, eventually, by another discovery, the 8th planet. Not the Ceres, nor the Uranus, but a new planet. People found it through more precise astronomical data and calculation, proving that the number sequence found by the merchant's son was only a myth. Now we are clear of what we've been talking about. It's an unsolvable puzzle. It makes no sense from the very beginning. We found the Ceres because it happened to be there. It is real, and no one can deny its existence. In other words, we can perfectly prove the rationality of mathematics because we invented it. It's been a good dream, I suppose. Now, imagine that you are walking alone in the darkest valley ever, trying to drag your fragile body upward as much as possible before it is worn out. Hoarse cries squeeze their way out of your mouth to ask for a response from the gods. Suddenly, an afflatus dawns on you. The next moment, a miracle happens. You are already at the top of the mountain, witnessing the rise of a huge celestial body from the skyline. Even if it's only in your imagination, you have just witnessed the dawn of the creation, and the shock is real.
Welcome. A truly marvelous hypothesis. I hope the margin is wide. A nice result. It's almost as precious as the number 1, the mother of all things. The beginning of nothing turning into something.
아이고, 수술했더니 식사하고 바로 양치를 해야 돼서 불편하구만. 아하, 눈금자의 도움. 완벽한 도형을 그릴 때는 작도와 삼각판의 도움이 반드시 있어야 한다. 오 마이 갓. 어떻게 되는 거야, 우리 써내도.
An old admonition is engraved here. Let no one ignorant of geometry or the irrational numbers enter.
할 말이 없네.
37 told me you are the integers. She's the genius kissed by the god of truth. She can see our numbers and has never made a mistake. But I don't understand. Why would you break the silence at the meeting?
사연이 있다고. 너네가 먼저 재건
I
앞잡이했잖아.
apologize, Miss Sophia. I won't defend our behavior.
You may save that apology for later. If you can persuade more than half of the people to vote for your friend's commutation, perhaps she won't be sentenced to death.
I have gathered some case files from the past. I hope it will be of some help.
곱게 말린 문서는 황동으로 테두리가 덮여 있었다. 이것이 귀한 선물이라는 건 굳이 열어보지 않아도 알 수 있었다.
These files are...
Thank you, thank you.
But won't you be in trouble for helping us?
I have my own reasons.
소피아는 옛 가르침을 되새기듯 눈을 감았다.
Integers are the living example of virtues, the standard of purification. It represents a soul existing in the world of forms, a true being. It is the floating points behind the decimal which dent the process of our overall purification. The evil,
The ones who violate rules knowingly. The ones who turn a positive number into negatives. And a civil person, a criminal.
숫자가 없는 검수자는 한숨을 내쉬며 다른 곳으로 시선을 돌렸다.
If integers like you would lose your life over some unintentional mistakes, wouldn't it be a great shame? Besides, I can't stand the idea of you being killed in front of me.
Not rigorous.
너! 마치 유령처럼 37이 불쑥 소피아 뒤에서 나타났다. 그녀의 친구는 티나지 않게 움찔하며 옆으로 비켰다.
For one thing, we still don't know Vertin and Sonetto's numbers. For another, the fact that every crow we've seen is black doesn't necessarily entail that the next crow will also be black. Even if every virtuous person we met has been an integer, we can't be certain that the next one will still be an integer. Same case for irrational numbers.
You're right, 37. But people always tend to believe that virtuous people are integers. That is what we call belief.
Correct. But not entirely correct. Everyone can make mistakes. Numbers are just numbers. They are not associated with virtues.
숫자는 숫자일 뿐이다.
Unlike me, you're always right,
오,
37.
약간의 자격지심을.
I don't know what differs us.
소피아가 한숨을 내쉬며 시선을 돌렸다.
Will you be at the assembly?
Yes.
Then I will leave them with you. I'm not qualified to set foot in the Hall of Truth.
아,
I have done poorly in receiving the guests. I will ask Six for my punishment after the assembly.
아이고.
Huh? So you are not coming back to my laboratory? Neither will you help me review the calculation results or sort out the books?
The scripture shall not be challenged. What's more, any students here can help you in the laboratory. It doesn't have to be me.
너여야만 하겠지 근데 37은 또 그 표정. 불만 있음. 37은 실망한 듯 고개를 숙이며 발치에 돌을 툭 찼다.
Had I known, I would have let someone else welcome Vertin and her friends. Like 210. He loves to brag to young ladies so much that he would take the
아까
punishment
그
willingly,
놈이구만.
right?
포도 달고 있던 놈.
You were that someone else who was assigned to receive them in the first place. If I hadn't stopped you in time, how much longer would Regulus's head have stayed in your mouth? Not to mention what happened last time,
계속 물었어?
and the time before that.
But the fact that I have messed up all the receptions before doesn't mean I may excel in the next one. The chances of messing up the first reception and the 100th reception are the same.
Whatever you say, you little sophist.
소피아는 서류를 내려놓고 서둘러 자리를 떠났다. 소피아는 좋은 사람이야.
Everyone says so. But compliments won't help her find her number.
대체 영혼의 숫자가 뭐길래. 고개를 숙인 37은 곧 사탕을 발견한 아이처럼 발짝 웃었다.
So, Vertin, are you ready for the debate?
Does that mean you will help us?
Of course. I don't want to miss the chance.
What chance?
The chance to see your numbers. There's no greater knowledge than the knowledge of oneself. And there's no more exciting truth than the truth of oneself. I can quickly tell which types of numbers you are, but it requires proof to know the exact number of your soul.
증명이 필요하다.
I want to know the answer before you see your own numbers.
뭘까? 숫자라는 게?
So it's 37 who proves it, not Vertin. I'd be glad to give this chance to you.
37은 불만스러운 듯 입을 삐죽거렸다.
That's boring. Let's go, Vertin. The assembly's about to start.
Let's go, Bertie. 더 뭘 계속. 뚠뚠뚠. 새의 길. 다 모였구먼. 다 모였구먼. 크하하하하하. 돌 항아리와 자석 사이에서 그것은 자갈을 하나 또 하나 잡았다. 잠깐 로딩되는 틈에 아이스팩을. 학파 사람들이 속속 장내로 들어왔다. 이게 첫 번째 문장 맞아? 하면서 봐. 맞네. 땡. 피고인과 변호인은 이미 각자의 자리에 앉아 있었다. 이소. 괜찮아?
Don't worry, timekeeper. I'll defend myself.
내가 할게. 장백한 얼굴의 소네토는 단호한 눈빛으로 정면을 응시했다.
Back in the Foundation, I once won a public debate of a similar nature.
그때 쩔었지.
This is my duty. I won't let it get in the way of the team's investigation. Soneto.
소네토는 말없이 고개를 숙인 채 의연하게 전도자의 강당 중앙으로 걸어갔다. 언젠가의 그 순간처럼. 강당 중앙에는 재판관이 좌정하고 있었다.
By our tradition, Miss Soneto will be given the poisoned wine, so she will be muted and stay that way forever. However, Sophia raised her objection against the decision.
Sophia.
After giving the matter some discreet thought, I have decided it is necessary to hold an assembly and take care of it democratically. Those of you who agree to the death sentence may remain seated. Those of you who wish to commute Miss Soneto's punishment, please put your pebble into the pot in the middle of the hall. Now, Miss Soneto, Miss Vertin, you may defend yourselves. Until the sand in this hourglass falls to the bottom.
왜 이렇게 조금밖에 안 줘 시간. 그래, 이건 불확실한 전쟁이 아니다. 긴장 풀고 심호흡하자. 훈련을 하는 것처럼.
I am Soneto from St. Pavla Foundation. I wish all the honorable audiences here would lend me their ears to hear my defense as a humanitarian gesture.
What number are you?
단상 아래에서 날카로운 질문이 들려왔다.
Defendant, the court requires an answer. What is your number?
그게 중요하냐고. 모른다고. 어제 들어왔는데.
What? Me? No, I don't have a number.
Don't waste our time. People without a number cannot stand in the hall of truth.
이거
All her
억가야.
words are void. Sentence her to death now.
청중 사이에서 찬성의 목소리가 터져 나왔다. 이내 재판관이 돌로 된 종을 두드렸다.
42's argument is valid. Defenders,
너도 억가야 이 새끼야.
What? It's valid?
숫자가 있지 않으면은 발언력이 안 생기나 본다. 예? 37 빨리 뭔가 해봐. 소네토의 얼굴이 새하얗게 질렀다. 그 어떤 형식적인 정의도 공정한 절차도 모의 연습도 이 순간 하나도 쓸모가 없어졌다. 이건 그녀가 접해본 적 없는 영역이었다.
Objection!
이소! 아담한 최고의 인물이 단상 밑에서 일어섰다.
According to the record, the last time we inflicted severe punishment was in 1980 to a visitor who ate beans. He ate a carbuncle that feeds on beans. Then he was sentenced to death according to the set theory.
그 정도야?
In our scripture, eating beans is the most evil sin. But if we are now executing people for breaking the silence at the assembly, how would it reflect our attitude towards the consumption of beans? Has the law suggests Neto's punishment to be commuted?
사람들이 웅성거리기 시작했다. 진짜.
A good argument.
37's argument is deemed valid. The debate will continue.
이것도 유효야. 37이 의기양양하게 자리에 앉자마자 체격이 큰 인물이 나른한 몸짓으로 자리에서 일어났다. 210이구나 이 새끼.
Objection.
재수없는 놈.
The punishment for eating beans is to throw the offenders into the Gorgon current, while the punishment for the silence breaker is to drink poisoned wine. Among all the punishments we have, there's no other punishment more dreadful than being thrown into the Gorgon current. Because eternity and infinity are the two things we have the least knowledge of, which makes them the most ghastly punishments among all. Giving her the poisoned wine doesn't make the consumption of beans less sinful. Her argument is invalid.
이 자식 여자 앞에서 큰 소리만 낼 줄 아는 놈이라고 했나 아까 전에? 종이 울리기도 전에 반대의 목소리가 먼저 들려왔다.
Objection! Both of the crimes would fall into the same category if we are taking the punishment as a frame of reference, which is death.
둘 다 사형인데 뭔 소리냐?
Objection! The two crimes in question are not commensurable, which makes your comparison invalid.
약간 찰리 생각났네 이 녀석. 변론은 점점 과열되어 갔다. 사람들도 점점 들썩거리기 시작했고 항아리에 들어간 조약돌의 수도 결코 적지 않았다.
What's this? I'm completely lost in this irrational debate. I see. So that's how it works. Timekeeper?
Relax. I will help you.
호흡을 가다듬고 오른손을 든다. 이건 추상적인 논쟁이다. 현실, 정의, 의성과는 관련 없다. 오직 승리만 달려있을 뿐이다.
I object.
Object! 여기서 전투라고! 이런 빌어먹을. 크소! 내놔.
Look at my back.
I'd like to start by quoting 42's first argument. People without a number cannot stand in the Hall of Truth. In that case, it's not possible for Sonetto to commit a crime in the Hall of Truth. Because she can't even be in the hall.
What?
Good point, Vertin. This is our chance to out-argue them.
Wanna watch the aerial stop time?
죽여주마.
Right win. A little trick.
These are merely clumsy sophisms. We've all seen her break the maxim.
Objection! What you see cannot be submitted to the court as a transcendental fact. It's nothing but the fragments of the phenomenal world which can't be used in your argument.
근거가 될 수 없어. 네가 본 건.
Objection sustained. Please, ladies and gentlemen, keep the debate logically consistent.
이성적이거나 어떤 그런 것보다는 이 여기가 폐쇄적인 마도학자 커뮤니티고 이 안에 그 피타고라스 학파가 떠오르게 하는 그런 규칙에 따라서 돌아가고 있잖아. 그러면은 그 규칙에 맞춰서 논리적이든 비논리적이든 근거를 잡고 반박을 하고 이러면 되는 거라는 거지 지금.
Since Sonetto has no number, and a person without a number does not exist before the truth. Seneto thus didn't offend your truth.
궤변 재판이야. 그러니까 지금
She
거의.
didn't break any rules.
Wanna watch the aerial stunt? Fine. Right win. Oh.
흩어지는 거 봐.
Objection! The rule breaker has a number. We can all tell that she is very likely an integer. Therefore, she should be identified as an unknown number, not void. Your sophism has failed.
미지슬 뿐 숫자가 없는 게 아니다.
42's argument is held valid. Is there anything else you'd like to add, defendant?
Tell you a secret, 13? We would call criminals negative numbers. I got it!
뭔데?
ВДВ. Сколько по...
내도 알려주라.
ВДВ. Сколько побед? Fine. Swallow my exhaust.
It is easy to prove Sonetto's innocence. According to the law of the excluded middle, Sonetto either committed a sin or committed no sin. The two statements cannot be both false at the same time. Since we consider a criminal as a negative number and a non-criminal as a positive number, Sonetto at present is considered an unknown number. That means she doesn't belong to the criminal set or the non-criminal set.
어떤 것도 아닌 상태다 지금 미지수라서.
She did not commit a sin and did not commit no sin. It's a paradox. I hereby demand to modify the criminal sentence that has been given to Sonetto.
소네토의 수가 정해지기 전에는 소네토가 범죄자인 것도 비범죄자인 것도 아니다는 거잖아 지금. 그러니까.
They are much naughtier than the Foundation's kids.
The law of excluded middle. A good sophism. Good for you to create a paradox from one sentence of my argument. But pitifully, you've made a fatal mistake. You've taken my argument as the basis of your defense. I said people without a number should be expelled from the Hall of Truth. You don't have a number either, Miss Outsider. Based on my argument, which has also been approved by you, I argue that all your arguments are invalid.
하필 발언자가.
There's no time left. 13 has a number. I saw it.
볼 수 있다고 했지.
What? 37, do you know what you're saying?
Yeah, I read her number just now. 13's number is 0.
오. 0. 의미심장하다. Oh my god.
Come closer. That's right. Take a few more steps and immerse yourself in the shadow, including that hat. You don't want those good ears to hear this private conversation. That pad of paper from the miss? Yes, the one wielding the ruler is quite valuable. I can tell it is of a certain age.
아까 소피아가 준 그거 말하는 건가 보네.
A lot of anecdotes. One visitor to the island took out a baguette from his luggage. To share it with others, he made an attempt to parcel it off. Another visitor fell to the ground and happened to sit on a quart measure and break it. You can learn the punishments for them from the paper. The former was thrown into the sea, while the latter into the further sea. Only God knows how this wine-dark sea holds so many visitors.
항변해 볼 수도 있잖아.
The It's really a pain in the neck for that logical, pragmatic assistant of yours, isn't it? People always tend to mark what they can't figure out as arcanists' doings, as if things would make sense once they do so. But it won't change the fact that the debate is only a game involving sophistry, improvisation, and straw man fallacy. So what makes it superior to beans, if the form is what they are really after? Anyways, whoever fools the others first will win the game. No arcanum at all. And that argument of hers is the best attraction for the audience. A special number. A 0.
이보다 더 사람들의 관심을 끌어모을 수 있는 것은 없을 거다. 바로 특별한 숙제인 양이다. 양수와 음수의 경계 지점은 어때요?
You are neither positive nor negative, which means you don't belong to either side. Now, imagine one side as an orderly line and the other as those wandering around. The wanderers can smell the abnormality in you, and of course, no one in that line sees you as one of them. In a restaurant, fruits are served without the seeds, but in a farm, the seeds are retained for the next harvest. Is there any value in the seeds? It depends on what you see when you look at them. The moment you realize that, you have come to the crossroad of fate. Now, back to the number we just talked about. Oh my! It's the prediction of your whole life. Can you believe that? You owe that spirited little genius a thank you. By the way, what do you see in her number?
그녀는 37이니까.
I always know you're a quick learner. You're very good at noticing new things. That's right. 37 is only 37. A nice unique prime number which equals the word genius. At least everyone prefers to think this way. Why not deify the one that is able to reach the truth when you have the chance? It's much easier to pin your hopes on others than to blame yourself. I guess you also did that, right, darling? It's okay. She never says no. She just lets the hopes pile up on her shoulder because she simply doesn't care at all. What a good child.
때마침의 교시. 숫자와 숫자 사이에서 놀라운 논쟁이 벌어진다.
Who ate beans? Given that it could be found, are you irrational numbers? The form is above all. Rational or troublesome? Given that it could be found, are you irrational numbers?
다음 나와.
The final demonstration. Given that, welcome to the world of numbers.
Welcome to the world of numbers.
Intersect and divide. It could be found. Given that, form is above all. Rational. Huh? It could be found. Given that, time to check my calculation.
그래 합당한 승리자가 되었다. 문 열어. 축의 중점, 축의 중점. 공정하고 중립적이며 부족하거나 변하지 않는다. 호. 수수한 투닉 차림의 사람들이 열띤 토론을 벌이기 시작했다. 근엄한 재판관도 높은 단상에서 일어섰다.
37. You just said Vertin's number is 0. Do you know what it means?
Very clearly.
Would you be able to submit proof to a Peyron?
Peyron.
No problem.
Half of you in this hall have put in the pebbles. If 37's argument is found to be true, every argument Vertin has spoken in Sonetto's defense will be deemed valid.
상당히
Sonetto will be exempt from the punishment.
선동을 잘 당하는구만 이 동네 사람들도.
I will announce the result once 37's proof has been validated by a Peyron. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. 앞에 이런 학파 사람들이 하나둘 자리를 떠났다. 그렇게 진리의 전당은 다시 고요를 되찾는다. 다음 순간 소네토는 힘이 빠진 듯 바닥에 털썩 주저앉았다. 아이고 고생했어 우리 딸내미.
Sonetto!
소네토 고생했어 이 녀석.
Timekeeper, I'm so
갑자기
sorry.
여권
I
재판에
tried my
불려와가지고
best,
말이야
but
지금.
still I couldn't understand the debate.
절대 못하지 소네토는 이런 재판.
I failed again.
소네토의 얼굴이 붉어지고 호흡이 가빠졌다.
What happened to her? Come here, little girl. We need to move her outside.
어딜 뻔뻔하게 들어와 이 자식.
Lie her down on the ground and wipe her palm and feet with dew and peppermint oil. That would be okay.
소네토는 조금씩 안정을 되찾았다.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The distinguished number 0.
바로 아부하러 왔네 이 새끼. 바로 아부하러 온 거였어. 남자가 어깨를 으쓱였다.
I'm kidding. I'm 210. Well, instead of the number, I prefer people call me the rhetorician.
수사학자. 수사학을 하는 사람이 수사학자겠지. 고대 그리스어. 문장 표현을 기교로서 언어와 문장을 꾸미는 여러 방법이다. 갑자기?
I've heard your preachment. Pretty demagogic.
선동적이던데. 남자가 장난스레 고개를 끄덕였다.
That's how logic works. With logic, I can prove that you'd cease to exist in the next moment, or that there are no other people in this world except me. Achilles can never outrun a tortoise, and a flying arrow is forever motionless. This debate is nothing but meaningless wordplay. That pacifist let you off this time.
평화주의자.
6. A perfect number indeed. For he knows the benefit of reconciliation. Who wants to have blood on their hands and be devoured by the cycle of hatred? Yet it's a torture for any intelligent mind to hear such an immature debate. Can you feel the suffering of our leader now?
리더의 고통이 느껴지지 않습니까?
I'm sorry.
212 만족스러운 미소를 지었다.
No apology needed, Miss Outsider. I also feel sorry for your pain. Given that 37 has revealed your number.
What do you mean?
37. Our evil little genius. The most cunning star of Hermes. She's been having fun revealing others' numbers for a long time.
선동하는 것 같은데 이것도
Our
약간.
numbers are our essence. And it's also the most important proof we get once in our lifetime. But she enjoys taking that opportunity away from you, just because her talent allows her to do so. She did that to her friend, too. She found out Sophia's number. But without casting an eye on that paper with her number on it, Sophia threw it into the sea.
바다에 던져버렸죠.
Sophia is Sophos. But you, I pity you.
It doesn't seem like trouble to me.
Alas, poor little Vertin. You still don't understand. The number of our souls suggests our fate. It might be changed through algorithms
엄청
temporarily,
의미를 두네,
swirling,
숫자에.
shifting, or transforming alongside other changes occurring on the coordinate axis.
숫자에 계산하는 그거를 다른 사람이 알게 되면 뭔가 문제가 생기는 건가? 운명에 개입할 수 있게 된다든지.
But in the end, we can only be ourselves. 1 is thought. 2 is opinion. 3 is wisdom. 4 is strength. 5 enthusiasm. 6 harmony. 7 order. 8 philanthropy. 9 is restraint. While 10 is completion. 0, however, is in the middle of the axis, the origin of the frame of reference. It's neither positive nor negative, neither prime nor composite. Things are ever changing, but you stay the same.
지금 버틴을 뭔가 딱 나타내는 숫자 같기도 하고, 시간이 지금 오락가락 난리 법석이 났는데 버틴의 시간만 지금 그대로잖아.
Your loneliness also lasts forever. This is your fate. Being exposed in full view of the crowd, yet you know nothing about it. 37 was acting on impulse, yet she opened Pandora's box. She leisurely reveals your fate. That carefree behavior makes no difference to picking up a shell
이
on a
자식
beach.
약간 교활한 놈 같아. 210 이 녀석. 아까는 그렇게 앞서서 선동했으면서 지금은 내가 0이라고 하면서 다가오고, 지금은 그리고 또 한 박자 또 나가면은 내 앞에서 37에 대해서 지금 계속 얘기하고 있지. 지금 얘가 이런 애다 하고서 지금 계속 뭔가를 주입하는 것 같은데
How could I
나한테.
not pity you?
남자는 손을 내저으며 자리를 떠났다. 멀리서 파도치는 소리만 들릴 뿐 사방은 고요하기만 했다.
Miss Vertin,
학파의 수장이 어둠 속에 가만히 서 있었다.
37's proof has passed the review. Your friend will now be exempt from the punishment for violating the rules. However, she has to take some catch-up lessons on the scripture. Please, meet me at the hall tomorrow at noon. I would have words with you.
통과했다는 건 내가 0이 맞다는 거네. 다음 화에게서 평화의 멍에. 오, 누구야 이거? 아카나 6. 그가 낡은 대치를 선포했지만 이미 막이 내린 뒤였다. 삶에는 세 부류의 사람이 있다. 올림픽대회에서 본 세 부류의 사람처럼. 가장 높은 경지는 관찰자이다. 숭고한 곳은 순석이지. 진정한 철학가이다. 생의 수레바퀴에서 벗어날 수 있을까?
Before this negotiation begins, I wish to tell an allegory to the two of you. A group of people were imprisoned in a cave. Behind them, there was a fire. Before them was a tall, solid wall.
자동인가?
Their legs and necks were chained and fixed, so they were constrained to look nowhere but to gaze at the wall in front of them.
동굴 속의 죄수네.
When they dropped their eyes, they saw their own body. When they looked up, the flickering light of the fire fell over them, and they only saw the shadows of what was passing behind them. No one had lived one day outside the cave. The shadows cast on the wall all there was to be perceived as reality. They had no knowledge of the real world.
이 섬 사람들에 대한 비유
One
아니야
of them
이거?
escaped from the cave, walked into the light, and saw the true world with his own eyes for the first time. Everything he saw or felt in the cave was nothing more than a mere shadow of the object's true form.
지금 학파 사람들에 대한 비유 아니야 이거? 뭔가?
Our world is a poor one, Miss Verton. The phenomenal world is the cave in this allegory, where we are surrounded by shadows or some humble fractions of the truth.
그쪽이야?
It is ugly, frivolous, filthy, perishable, subject to decay, and filled with hollow desires and meaningless struggles. Only the wise can walk out of that cave and see the world as it truly is.
동굴 밖의 세계가 이 섬이라고 말하고 있네. 근데 CX는
In that eternal, transcendent world, everything is in its most perfect form. I pray that you, Miss Verton, the representative of St. Pavlov Foundation, and you, Miss
아카나도
Arcana,
있구나.
her counterpart of Manus Vindicte, would pay heed to my words. Everything you've been fighting each other for means no more than some fragments of phenomena to us. There's only one thing worth doing.
얘는 그러니까 동굴 밖에 있는 동굴 안에 있는 죄수가 밖에 현실의 사람들이고 동굴 밖에서 있는 게 자기들이라고 말하는 거지. 근데 밖에서 온 사람들이 보기에는 얘네가 동굴 안에 있는 사람으로 보이겠지.
That is, to seek higher wisdom, develop one's virtue, and achieve greatness in life. We have never set foot on the soil dampened by the storm, nor have we ever been involved in the disputes brought by the torrents of time. I beg you, do not take your conflict in the phenomenal world into the realm of truth.
오.
For certain. It was never my intention to sully the sanctuary of truth.
Then, to prevent a situation like this from happening again, I would like to ask you two to carve your names on these 2 stone bangles and drip a drop of your blood on each of them. Once the bracelet is put on, no one will be able to remove it.
서로 공격 못 하게 되는 거야, 근데 설마?
From now on, as long as you're on this island, none of your people will draw blood from one another. Or the bangle shall draw all the blood from you.
묶어두는 거네, 이거 완전히 그럼.
The peace agreement is so decided.
하면 안 돼. 뭔 수작을 부릴 줄 알고 저쪽에서. 아르카나가 손을 뻗어 팔찌를 하나 가져갔다.
I appreciate that. I'll sign it.
섬 안에서만 유효한 거겠지? 수장은 살짝 고개를 끄덕였다. 그러고는 다시 단상에 시선을 주지 않고 빠른 걸음으로 자리를 떠났다. 석자 팔찌의 질감은 소박하고 수수했다. 비비린내 나는 그 맹세와는 전혀 다르게.
The peace agreement.
그 순간 누군가 정면에서 다가왔다. 그래, 그녀는 아직 여기 있었다. 처음부터 끝까지 여기에 있었다.
Lady Verton, we meet again. I wish the best to thy friend.
Lady Verton.
She's doing well, thanks to you.
You're most welcome. Thou shalt quench, for times hath changed. I would not wish to shed even a drop of Arcanist's blood in vain.
But Schneider should be the victim of a merciless bullet?
슈나이더!
Vertin, my pitiful child. Did you forget?
슈나이더는
That
마도학자가
merciless bullet cameth from a gun never belonging to me.
What's Manus Vindicte's purpose to be here?
Hearken the archaic wisdom. Just as thou doest.
살갗을 태울 것처럼 석재팔찌가 은은하게 달아올랐다.
I am not surprised. I adore thy visage, Lady Vertin, emotionless in the storm. Alas,
와,
no man shall bravest the storm and live, including thee.
그녀의 말은 겨울의 매서운 바람 같았다. 마음이 메마른 나무 사이의 불길처럼 뜨겁게 타올랐지만 또 곧 차분하게 가라앉았다.
A wooden box in the Elitiaus base has my name on it. Was that your doing?
Sadly, it wasn't.
누구지 그럼?
I hope thee findeth the answer satisfactory.
누굴까? 누가 남겼을까? 이것도 미스터리네. 아르카나의 모습은 나무 그림자 속으로 사라졌다. 손목의 팔찌에서 불에 댄 것 같은 통증이 옅게 느껴졌다.
It's burning.
그 순간 근처 숲에서 부스럭거리는 소리가 들려왔다.
Is that Miss Arcana? Miss Arcana, please don't go. Save us and save us.
난리 났구만. 초췌한 두 사람의 그림자가 헐레벌떡 눈앞을 지나갔다. 마치 괴물을 피해 도망치듯 두 사람은 허겁지겁 수장의 뒤를 따라갔다. 이 왕국 안에도 재건의 따까리들이 있는 모양이구먼. 아무래도 뒤이어 아담한 그림자가 숲에서 불쑥 튀어나왔다.
No! Come back! Come back! You ignorant foreigners! I just started introducing vectors and matrices, and that's the most interesting part! Ah, Vertin! Great! You always show up at the right time and right place! Stop the masked people! Whatever it takes!
잡아야겠지?
Ah, Bangla!
아, 빵글라. 뭔 뜻일까? 중국말 같은데.
What's this? You sealed off your legs. I tripled the ingredients this time. That's Cradle. Say hello. What's that?
Easy lah.
Be serious. Stay focused. It seems to be mixed up. It should be fine, right? Go, go! What's this? Move your legs.
Copy that.
It seems to be mixed up. It should be fine, right?
Thunder Talisman Scientific Version.
Thunder Talisman Scientific Version.
Just like in the train. Move your legs. I know what this is. Oh, don't worry. I have prepared it all. I have prepared it all.
This is the gift, well prepared for you.
Stay low profile. I don't want to be shunted.
Look at you, climbing out of the cave in the allegory, all dusty and dirty like a little savage. They must have tried to fill your little brain with long preachment. But you should feel lucky, because at least they didn't give you a quiz right after that.
아무 말도 못 들었는데.
Oh, that's our expert on absent-mindedness. Yes, we should bear in mind those glory days of yours back in school. Try to reach the corners of your mind, if you would. And there you will find another bunch of people standing in front of a stone table. Yes, those people in gowns. White gowns with gray diamond patterns. One of them was standing on the stairs, gathering all the little vacant eyes to his side. What was he called? Give me a second. Teacher, instructor, tutor, the educator. Just titles like that. No names at all. No one gets to write down their names on that banner, after all. But they have nothing to complain about. You know what they say? What is reasonable is real. That which is real is reasonable. They showed you a broad avenue in their teachings where you could enjoy a sense of security with all the solid ground, convenient automobiles, and warm sunshine. And at the end of the avenue even lies an inspiring mission, to which you are expected to devote your whole life. There is a distinction between good and bad here, and it's as clear as our innate sense of right and wrong, like a floor of black and white tiles. Any stains on it will be noticed immediately. But in fact, there exists another path in the woods. It's much less traveled, leading to the unknown darkness which cannot be seen with eyes or proved false. You may even experience indescribable chaos and madness there. This path, however, has an excellent view, and it's one of a kind. The plants are thriving with bursting energy, and the flowers are blooming in a delightful atmosphere. So, which will you take?
숲길이 좋겠군.
Oh, that's not an easy choice to make. This grandma must give you a round of applause. I would have even pinned a boutonniere to your suit if I had one. But I have to remind you, those things in there are not easy to deal with. They can drive you insane, and you have to be very careful. You've seen the living proof. Many were freaked out after they came back, and people had to tie and lock them up. Others even dug their own graves. Oh, my. That was a bit over the top. I hope I didn't scare you, darling. Here's some good news to cheer you up. Actually, there's still one more way you can take. It would be a good choice if you want to enjoy the scenery without getting lost in the darkness.
세 번째 길인가?
I'm sure you know that myth. You shall take the soul of your love out of the underworld, yet you shall not look back. That's right. You shall pass by the sleeping sirens, yet you shall not make a sound. The ones with the belief set off. They entered the dark woods barefooted, yet moved so smoothly, as if they were walking on the avenue. They kept their mouths shut and eyes forward. They never turned back, never picked up what was not theirs, never set foot on the forbidden lands, and never looked straight at the sacred greatness. They showed frugality, patience, and wisdom in the face of hunger and danger. So the beasts continued to lurk in the shadow, and the ones with the belief passed through the woods safely, until the path disappeared along with the direction sign.
인내심 있네 야수들이.
Then the first one to look back gave an exclamation before being exiled.
그게 합리적일까?
Think about what I just said. That which is real is reasonable. Never look back in the woods, darling. If you don't want to be turned into a pillar of salt which can do nothing but wail, then never, ever look back. Yes, we'd better stay awake, stay calm, stay cautious all the time. But then there comes the problem. How can you ignore your love for those thriving plants and blooming flowers? How are you supposed to deal with the unstoppable feeling that overflows like a melody when it is stirred up by the beauty of the scenery? Of course, you will cry the loudest cry, dance the wildest dance, drink the strongest drink, and vomit all the filth inside you. After all, there is no need to enter the woods if the soul-stirring scenery is not what you are after. Right?
좋은 일은 아닌 것 같은데 이 자식 말꼬리 올라가는 게.
No. So you'd better let it slip your mind, darling.
Darling.
Just let it go and hurry forward. Remember to keep your eyes shut and hold your breath. When you do so, the scenery will no longer mean anything to you, nor will the fragrance of the flowers. You will get out of the woods and reach where the truth lies. Is that what you want? Don't worry. We have plenty of time. You may come back at any time and pick another way.
떼지어 모인새. 해변이네. 나왔구나 이 녀석. 소란이 끝난 뒤 그것들은 나무 꼭대기에 엎드려 잠시 휴식을 즐겼다. 적당히 16까지 하고 나머지는 내일 할까? 곧 특별 방송도 시작하고.
Congratulations, Miss Sinetto. You are the fastest learner of our doctrine among all the visitors in the past half-century. On behalf of all orators, I award you this laurel wreath.
No, I wouldn't have achieved this without your guidance.
귀엽구만.
Those mathematics statements are really inspiring. I've learned a lot. But there's still something confusing me, such as Pythagoras and his golden thigh, his memory of the previous lifetimes as the son of Hermes, and the transmigration for every 216 years. Could you please tell me more about these?
포도덩굴 퍼걸러가 쓰러졌다. 곧 머리를 푹 숙인 두 이방인이 진리의 강당으로 질질 끌려 들어왔다.
Why would people fail to see the charm of the matrices? This is not right. I need to spend more time on teaching.
Anyone, save us! Thus my journey of art is doomed to fail.
이 자식 디거스 같네.
I really don't want to study maths anymore. Help.
그들의 절규를 신경 쓰는 사람은 아무도 없었다. 37은 투덜거리며 그들을 파빌리온에 마련된 강의 장소로 끌고 갔다.
Timekeeper, you are here. I heard that you completed all the lessons on the scripture. This laurel wreath suits you well.
잘 어울려. 소네토는 그저 고개만 숙일 뿐이었다.
Timekeeper, I'm sorry. At the assembly, I failed to understand the arcanist's logic. It was totally different to the debates I have participated in. But now I have... That was not your fault, Sinetto. It is now behind us.
굳이 이해 안 해도 돼. 여기서 살 것도 아니고.
I need to tell you something more important. I've signed a peace agreement with Arcana, and the price of breaking it is... What?
What? 이 섬에서만이지. 섬 나갈 땐 빼도 되지.
So Manus Vindictae is also restrained by the stone bangle like we are.
제1조수는 어느새 월계관도 벗은 채 생각에 잠겨 있었다.
Yes. She put it on without hesitation.
근데 아르카나는 피를 다루는 친구 아닌가? 뭔가 꼼수를 부릴 수 있지 않을까 이 녀석?
But I don't think her purpose would be as simple as hearkening the ancient wisdom.
재단이 관리하는 소장품과 달리 이 돌에는 마도학의 흔적이 보이지 않았다. 작동되지 않을 땐 적당한
I
무게감. 왜
attacked
이렇게 빨리
Manus followers
넘어가?
earlier as 37 asked me to. But I received no punishment from the bangle.
작동되지 않을 땐 적당한 무게감에 투박하고 평온한 모래밭에 굴러다니는 어느 돌과 다름없었다.
Perhaps this island makes its own judgment on what to be classified as hostility. Like it has a mind of its own. Sonetto, do not report this to the headquarters before we figure out how the bangle works. After all, there are many other things to investigate on this island other than Manus Vindicte.
I see. I will contact Miss Juvis and Miss Moiselle first and keep an eye on Arcana. Timekeeper, this island, the Manus' mask, and your suitcase are all immune to the storm. Does this mean we could collect more asymmetrical nuclide R samples?
비대칭 핵종 R.
I tried to collect some samples last night in the outer region of the island, but the detecting device showed nothing. If we were to find out more, we have to go to the center area.
섬 안에 있는 핵심적인 무언가가 섬 전체에 영향을 주는 건가? 영역이 커가지고.
What are you conspiring now?
뜨끔.
Do not poke the fire with swords, and do not jump over a crossbar. The assembly will not be held every time when there's a crime. Please take heed of my warning, and do not overstep the line.
조심하세요, 손님.
Learn a lesson from them.
소피아의 뒤에서 먼지 투성이인 두 사람이 나타났다. 얘들아, 꼬질꼬질한 강아지처럼 어디서 이렇게 놀다 온 거니? 가스 폭발 사건의 생존자라도 되는 듯 한 명은 얼굴이 온통 먼지 투성이었고 나머지 한 명도 꼴이 말은 아니었다.
Lilia, didn't you say you have Regulus with you safely?
Apologies, Vertin. I was going to rescue Sonetto through a very creative underground tunnel. But things didn't quite go as planned.
레글루스가 어깨를 으쓱이며 먼지를 털어냈다.
Not a bad innovation for a simple clap on the forehead. If only you didn't miscalculate the location of the explosion.
This apple is grateful that it didn't get blasted into a puddle of apple jam.
Warning. Shell cleaning required. Warning.
I don't know why, but when I was in that cave, ideas kept flooding into my head.
초당 하나.
Though, judging by the outcome, they weren't all good ideas.
이미 지칠 대로 지친 듯 소피아가 이마를 찝어다.
On a routine patrol, I found them trying to break into the cave. I'm not surprised that an irrational number would try to trespass on forbidden grounds. But you two?
지하성지?
The integer and the fraction?
동굴?
What were you doing with her? This is a serious crime.
순간 눈앞이 아찔해졌다.
Do we have to go through this debate again?
It's okay, Timekeeper. I will defend Regulus.
할 수 있어?
I've thoroughly studied the scripture, and this time I'm sure I can do better. Forget it.
소피아가 거의 들리지 않을 정도로 작게 중얼거렸다.
Forget it. It is unwise to waste time trying to understand an irrational number's motive. Besides, we should let the reckless take care of the least important matters.
잡다한 사람? 소피아가 도리어 만족스럽다는 듯한 미소를 지었다.
That's it. Regulus, you will come with me to clean the beach.
Huh? Me? Again?
너만 사고 치잖아.
Since you have too many floating points, words of discipline would not work on you.
We would have suggested you study with the rest of the students here. Abstain from eating
채식.
meat, bathe
아까
in
봤던
cold
거구만 위키
water,
읽을 때.
rise with the Apollo star, study our doctrine, read the scripture aloud on the beach, so as to remove your floating points and purify your soul.
What? I won't do any of that.
But taking your peculiar character into consideration,
기분 좋아 보이네.
I decided that some compulsory labor would be the better option.
노역으로 대신할 생각입니다. 레골루스가 안도한 듯 활짝 웃었다.
Oh, that's the best news of the day. I'd rather clean up the rubbish on the beach than be surrounded by people giving sermons all the time. At least the rubbish doesn't talk gibberish. I'd be dead if you didn't change your mind.
Regulus, studying the scripture is not that scary. They will teach you and guide you until
야
you take full
진짜
command.
이렇게 나뉠 수가 사람이.
Just like taking lessons at school.
레골루스는 수업도 다 튀었을 것 같지 아무래도.
Huh? Is that what schools are like?
Haven't you been to a school, Regulus?
Haha! A great pirate would not remember trivial
방금
matters
침묵
as
뭐야?
So, where were we? Which part of the beach needs to be taken care of by the great captain?
My laboratory.
나.
Whoa! Where did you pop up from?
37이 무표정하게 눈을 깜빡거리며 레골루스의 불만을 대놓고 무시했다.
37. Aren't you supposed to preach to the visitors?
I've seen the numbers. A group of negative repeating infinite decimals. They will achieve nothing but to repeatedly step in the river of mistakes. I gave up on them.
범죄자란 거구먼. 아까 제건 따까리를.
Fine. Those of you who are complicit in breaking into the cave will also be sent to labor. Sonetto and Lilia will come with me to patrol. Regulus, you can go clean the lab. As for Verton, you will assist 37 with her study of the emanation. Don't waste more time on the trivial matters of the phenomenal world, integers. That was the sole reason you were on this island, was it not?
우리는 그 낭비가 필요한 입장이지. 소피아는 그대로 몸을 돌려 발걸음을 옮겼다. 그렇게 몇 걸음 걸어가던 그녀는 순찰 서대원을 재촉하듯 걸음을 멈췄다.
Don't let down your guard. The arcanists on this island are not as easy to deal with as you imagined. Down in the cave, I heard some pretty alluring and intriguing anecdotes.
오.
Miss Lilia, this way. You will cover this area.
이 파티에서 제일 믿음직한 건 릴리아일지도. 이 녀석 캐릭터 진짜 확실하네. 원래 이렇게 술 마시고 이러는 캐릭터들은 약간 허허 하는 그런 게 있는데 할 일은 또 따박따박 다 해, 릴리아가.
Stay on the radio.
할 일은 다 하고 임무에 굉장히 철저한 사람이야, 릴리아가. 뭔가 점점 더 이 친구가 매력적으로 느껴지는 듯한. 스킨 사줘야 되나? 고민되네. 고민되네. 약간 취향 아니라 고민. 계속 살까 말까 하고 있었는데 말이야. 비행마녀는 손을 휘휘 저으며 자신이 맡은 잡무를 위해 의연히 떠났다. 이내 소네토도 돌아서며 진지한 모습으로 고개를 끄덕였다.
Don't worry, Timekeeper. Lilia and I will keep an eye on Manus Vindicte. We are counting on you, Sonetto.
몸 조심하고.
I have a feeling we are coming closer to a big secret.
다마에게서 얘기하고 두두두두두. 탈영병 막기. 가면을 쓴 머리가 진리의 수업에서 도망치려고 한다. 막아. 풀풀풀.
Ah, Bangala!
빵길라.
What's this? Be serious. Move your legs.
What's this?
It seems to be mixed up. This should be fine, right? What's that? Be serious. Stay focused. What's this? Move your legs. Be serious. Stay focused. I tripled the ingredients this time. Go, go!
샹. 그들은 결국 수학의 묘미를 알게 될 것이다. 치치치치치. 위대한 혁명, 디지털 과목을 예술의 유토피아로 개조하라. 마음을 죽이는 법, 졸리다. 긴 머리를 한 어린 소녀의 낙서. 천적. 알람 소리. 뭘까나? 이거 PB에 나왔던 거기 같은데? 결국 기상캐스터는 항상 한 명 이상이었다. 37의 연구실인가 여기가?
What? What am I looking at? So your
어울리지 않는
so-called
거네.
sacred project is this gigantic IDM computer.
레굴루스는 능숙하게 기기를 살피기 시작했다.
I was curious about them during my stay in Laplace. Those later versions of the model are so much better than the 66 ones. But this one doesn't seem that far advanced to those. This is not a junk piece the man has sold you, is it?
거기서 산 거야?
Items of the phenomenal world are all a waste. This one is long broken. After the emanation, we couldn't find anyone to repair it. Why do you keep referring to the storm as the emanation? What does the emanation mean? It is the waves of Numa.
영성의 파도.
We are the expellees of the world of forms. We were banished to this damp and dark cave.
이념의 세계에서 어둡고 습한 동굴로 추방당한 거야. 이게 그러니까 그런 걸까? 이거는 이 피타고라스 학파와 유사한, 이름은 기억 안 나는데 아무튼 이 학파에서, 그러니까 일종의 기독교로 치면 천국 같은 거, 유토피아, 그런 완전 무결한 이념 세계, 이게 그런 개념의 세계인 거고, 얘네는 거기 있다가 이 섬으로 쫓겨났다, 추방당했다. 그래서 여기서 진리에 도달하기 위해서 우리가 노력을 해서 돌아가야 돼 하는, 이게 종교의 교리인 건가, 얘네 종교의? 여기가 얘네가 지금 이 격리된 마도학자 사회가 있는 이 섬 자체가 섬을 습한 동굴이라고 표현을 한 거고, 현실의 부스러기에 기생해 있는.
Everyone here is obsessed with the fake light on the wall, but forgets to look for the truth. Numa, however, will lead us to escape the cave and return to a more supreme realm.
Eh? You make it sound like we're living in piles of rubbish.
Aren't we?
Of course not. If you ask me, I'd say you have absolutely no idea how wonderful the outside world is, because you have never left here to try it yourself.
동굴 속에 있으니까.
Dr. Pepper, the music festivals, Rory Storm, the Hollies, and the Rolling Stones. Oh, there are too many to count. If it weren't for this sick storm, I would still be riding a motorcycle in one of those races in London.
Your soul must be pretty contaminated.
And the computer, they can calculate extremely large numbers within seconds, better than hundreds of thousands of you combined together.
In the case of numbers, it's not the bigger the better.
그다고 좋은 게 아니야.
Also, this computer has never played a useful part in our study.
쓰는 법을 몰랐던 건 아니고.
Come on, mate. You people just leave it in a cave. It's like sending an infant to the kitchen and waiting for it to bring you dinner. Never mind, you'll see what I mean after I fix it.
레귤루스는 투덜거리며 컴퓨터 밑으로 기어 들어갔다.
Can you fix an IDM, Regulus?
No, but I've seen the La Paz people do it. Shouldn't be too difficult, I assume. Oh, the dust! When was the last time you sent people down here to clean?
꼬질꼬질해졌어 순식간에.
Oh, some critters are nesting here. Oh, did I break into your party? Bertin, come give me a hand. They won't let me touch him.
버틴, 와서 청소 좀 해줘. 꼬질꼬질한 크리터들이 안에 잔뜩 있어, 버틴.
What interesting accident will happen next?
Merci.
Massive.
It could be found.
Never hesitate.
Whoops. An accident.
Dang, dang.
Dang, dang.
Brave.
Wow.
Merci. Ha!
Pitch. Easy job.
Fight for the unarmed.
Dang, dang.
Given that,
Huh.
time to check my calculation.
Wow. Huh. Pitch. Easy job. Just a reminder.
Follow
Watch
the
your
will
steps.
of God.
Could be found.
Mind the machines on the ground. Bang.
His trumpets sound. The judgment day has come.
Stay low profile. I don't want.
컴퓨터 화면에서 녹색 숫자가 깜빡거렸다. 기생하던 해충을 제거하자 먼지로 뒤덮여 있던 거대한 물체가 기적처럼 생기를 되찾았다.
You fixed it.
Oh.
It's great to have you clean the laboratory, Regulus. Your floating point immediately reduced.
Oh, is that a compliment? Sounds like one to me. Thank you.
It's a wordplay, Captain. Infinity minus any numbers still equals to infinity.
똑똑한 사과.
Oh, fine, fine. I should have given up the idea of changing your eccentric sorting system a long time ago. What's the meaning of humans inventing computers if these machines were only left here for some critters to nest in?
Thanks to you, now we can have a look at the previous models, Regulus. But it's a pity since it only has the data before 2003. Everything in the past 4 years has gone missing.
최근 4년 데이터는 왜 날아간 거야? 37은 이상할 정도로 능숙하게 기기를 조작했다.
This is our chronology, Vertin. From 1999 to 2007, the emanation has taken place 7 times. In the initial 4 years, the emanation has a pattern. First, it brought us back to the 90s, then the 80s, and then the 70s. After that, it suddenly leaped to the 30s. In the subsequent 3 years, it took place twice.
Every record here can perfectly match what is in the Foundation's files. Wait, these are the records before 2003, you say? But this one refers to the storm in 1966, which happened recently.
최근 발생한 건데.
These are indeed the records before 2003. What's following the records is our forecast.
수를 통해.
That's to say, you prophesied the 1966 storm 4 years prior to its occurrence. How is this possible? That you are clever enough to develop such a precise mathematical model, while at the same time you just let the IDM become the home of these critters.
We just worked out the patterns in the number sequences.
You made such precise prediction even without leaving the island. That's incredible.
37이 다소 불만스러운 듯 입을 비죽거렸다.
You don't need to go into a river to find out the pattern of its flow.
오, 맞는 말이야 이것도.
Moreover, we would send people to observe in the phenomenal world. My mother was one of them.
나간 사람이 있단 거네 섬에서 그럼.
She is the co-author of this model. Nobody knows this computer better than her.
So you have a mother too?
이래서 나온 거였구나.
2? 37. Where is your mother now?
Like many people, she was restored to her true form. Since then,
죽었단 건가?
I took over this laboratory.
The form, you said. 37. What is it?
What kind of question is this?
그녀는 진심으로 이해가 안 되는 듯 고개를 갸웃거렸다.
The form, or the essence, is what's left of you after all the fakeness has been peeled off.
여기서 끊는다고? 이런 망할. 텅 빈 배. 소네토와. 아, 어떡하지? 그것은 공허를 한가득 싣고 예정대로 돌아왔다.
Now we are listening to the New Year collection. The world-famous painting Mona Lisa was found and returned to Musée du Louvre in the afternoon of December 13th. The US Congress passed the Federal Reserve Act on December 23rd, formally establishing the Federal Reserve System. The conflict between Austria-Hungary and Serbia has escalated. Bulgaria challenged the Bucharest Peace Treaty. Tension is building up over the Balkan Peninsula.
얘도 수상해. 얘를 누가 갖다 놓은 걸까? 첫 번째. 재건이 왜 여기 있는지 두 번째.
In London, futurists gathered under Big Ben, celebrating the upcoming 1914.
This is news of the outside world?
소네토가 미스 라디오를 귓가에 가져가며 낯선 이야기에 귀를 기울였다. 드문드문 방송 보도가 이어진 후 다이어리 우측 끝까지 돌아가더니 익숙한 목소리가 흘러나왔다.
Well, I am with Sophia. Arcana's still in the hall. She hasn't taken any action so far. Got it. Please keep an eye on the Manus followers. Be mindful of the restrictions set by the Bangle. Who are you talking to?
소네토가 얼른 미스 라디오를 뒤로 숨겼다.
Just checking up on Lilia.
Please stay vigilant during the patrol. This is the last place we need to check.
깨끗한 해변에 크기가 제각각인 기하학 경체가 흩어져 있었는데 일부는 모래 깊이 묻혀 있고 또 일부는 꿋꿋하게 우뚝 솟아 있었다. 마치 미니멀리즘 전시회를 보는 듯 했다.
We must keep this graveyard clean. Our dead deserve to be left in peace and undisturbed by the phenomenal world.
소피아가 원뿔형의 기아 경치 앞에 살짝 무릎을 꿇더니 조심스럽게 닦았다.
Miss Sophia, you said this is the graveyard?
표면을 닦던 소피아의 손이 순간 움찔 떨렸다.
Yes, the geometry graveyard it is called.
기하학 묘지?
4 years ago, my father was restored to a geometric body on his way back to the island. So was 37's mother, who was also on that ship.
휩쓸린 건가? 현상, 폭풍우에.
Why are you crying, Sophia?
아, 미니 쌈질.
I was wrong. We calculated it wrong, 37. We miscalculated the impacted area of the emanation. We thought the ships would be safe in the Gorgon current, but the safe area is in fact 5 degrees away.
유출, 폭풍우에 휩쓸려서 사라졌구나, 부모님이.
When the emanation happened, the bow of their ship had just entered the safe area. But it was too late. My dad is gone. So is your mom.
이거를 근데 엄마 아빠는 돌아가셨다고 말하면 안 되지 않아? 우리 아빠는 돌아가셨어. 너네 어머니도 마찬가지야 라고 하는 게.
I know. But why are you crying? My mom and your dad have come back to us, right?
Have come back? Do you call this coming back? Like this? In the form of geometric bodies? Cold and silent? Being pushed to the shore?
뭐지 근데 지금이랑 크게 안 다른 것 같은데? 오히려 지금보다 약간 나이가 많아 보이거나 뭐지? 여기서는 또 작아 보였는데 그냥 그림 때문에 그런가? 37은 전혀 이해가 안 되는 듯 미간을 찌푸렸다. 그러다 이내 그녀의 입가가 휘어졌다. 그리고 이전에 수도 없이 그랬듯 그녀는 순식간에 답을 찾아냈다. 빠르고 또 정확하게.
No. They have gone somewhere further. Look at them. These geometric bodies. How pure and how elegant. I've never seen such perfect geometric bodies before. If they are not from the eternal and transcendental world of forms, how should we explain this?
머리가 이렇게 말하면 좀 미안하지만 수학에 절여졌구만.
37? I'm going to study the emanation, Sophia. This is the best chance ever. The transcendental world finally opens its door to us. We will reach our hands to the forms and explore the oldest and eternal laws.
천재라는 말로 설명이 되나? 약간 사이에 낀 존재 같은데 이렇게만 보면.
Will you help me, Sophia? Next time I will definitely make a better calculation. I promise.
파도가 해변을 내리쳤다. 고운 모래 속에서 기아와 경채는 꿋꿋하게 달빛의 세례를 받고 있었다. 그들은 원래 모습 그대로 조수에 부식되지도 세월에 침식되지도 않았다. 하나하나가 영원의 기념비와도 같다. 고통스러운 과거를 끊어내려는 듯 소피아가 고개를 숙였다.
Thank you for assisting 37 with her research, Sonetto.
No, I didn't do anything. Timekeeper knows the storm better.
You have helped us greatly by just coming onto this island. For all this time, 37 has been locked up in the laboratory, refusing to talk to
우리가 와서
anyone,
나온 거구나.
nor participate in any group study. since the 2-day emanation in 1929. It is you who helped her revive her interest in other affairs in Apiron.
These are Timekeeper's contributions. I barely did anything.
소피아가 쓴 웃음을 지으며 시선을 돌렸다.
I can't help 37. Because I don't see the charm of numbers. I lack the perception that an integer should have. That's why I can't see my own number.
The number's charm? Sorry, I have never thought about this. For me, Arcanum is my inborn mission. If you ask me, you are an unbelievably excellent Arcanist. You can flatten the ground, clean up the beach, and rectify errors. You did it in an efficient and precise manner, which is already an advanced ritual.
Any students who have sworn to knowledge can do this easily. They aren't doing my job because they wish not to waste time on these trivial fragments of the phenomenal world.
맹세를 함으로써 무언가가 매직 파워를 빌려주는 건가?
Because they have seen the truth.
어허.
The phenomenal world is never complete. Like you can never draw a perfect circle there. No matter how much time you spend on it or how sophisticated your device is, it is impossible to draw a perfect circle in the phenomenal world.
완벽한 원.
Arrows always exist. The floating points after the decimal can be reduced, but not destroyed. The perfect circle only exists in the abstract transcendental world.
추상적인 초월 세계에만 존재한다.
Of course, anyone in the world can find out the value of pi through the most primitive method. Egyptians, Greeks, Chinese, and Babylonians, they have all tried. They made circles with twine, painted on the ground with twigs, or measured the land with cubit rods. But none of them actually drew a perfect circle. However different their practices were, they found out the sole truth, the approximate value of pi. Because the essence of the circle is hiding in the imperfect manifestation of it.
불완전한 형식 안에 존재하는.
This is the truth. It is eternal, unchanged, pure, and transcendent. Anyone can reach out to it at any time, in any place, by any means, and everyone will get the same answer from it.
선험적. 경험에 앞서서 인식이 주관적인 형식이 인간에게 있다고 주장하는 것.
The forms transcend all matters.
그녀의 눈빛은 단호했지만 어딘가 멀게 느껴졌다.
The world of matters we live in is being flooded and destroyed by the tides of Numa. When the tides recede, what is left on the beach is the essence.
영성의 조수가 폭풍우니까 폭풍우 때문에 계속 지금 여기가 부서지고 있다.
This doesn't sound right. Let me think. How come your theory reminds me of the Manus Doctrine?
We see the storm very differently. Among all the other things, we saw it first of all as a disaster.
재건이랑 비슷하다는 게 얘네는 그게 일어나고 나면은 거기에 본질이 남는다고 하는데 재건은 이걸로 다 섞어가지고 순수 마도학제만 남겨야 된다 이런 입장 아니야 재건은? 그래서 재건이랑 비슷하다고 한 거고 하지만 재단 쪽은 다르지 생각이.
But earthquakes, floods, volcanic eruptions, these are also disasters.
These catastrophic events happen not because they have a reason to destroy. They just happen in this world. Like we do. This is what my mother taught me. She must be proud that she's a perfect geometric body now.
I'm sorry for mentioning your mother.
그 말에 37이 얼굴을 찌푸렸다.
Why do you apologize, Furton? Are you feeling guilty? This is a very unusual feeling for a number like you.
I don't get it. Why did you say my number is 0?
여기서 끝하니 이런 제자. 동굴 넘어. 여기까지만 보자. 동굴은 모든 비를 막을 수 없다. 종이 원고도 마찬가지다. 빨리 더 얘기해봐.
I just saw it. The numbers of everything and every being would just emerge in front of me. I see it, and I speak it out loud. That's it.
210 told me numbers imply our fate.
37의 얼굴이 더 구겨졌다.
Don't believe him, Verton. Numbers are just numbers. I know nothing about fate. Fine. I don't think I like 210. And the feeling goes both ways for us. Because I once said he is a poor number. 210 equals 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. He is the product of all prime numbers between 1 and 10. Looks like he has it all, but he doesn't have any real forte. He likes to sugarcoat himself with metaphors. Only those with a flawed essence would adore the trickery of words.
다 갖춘 것처럼 보여도 특출난 장점은 없다.
This is indeed an extreme comment.
And 6 is no better. Every leader of a Pyrrhon has been a 6. 6 is the perfect number since it equals the sum of all its proper divisors. 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 6. But this number has been overrated. He's not that special.
What about your number? What does 37 mean?
I don't know.
그녀는 입술을 오므렸다.
I am 37. I've known it since I was born. So does everyone else. People told me what it means. But I have never tried to prove their theory. I know very little of fate. So I always think, even if I find out their essences, does it mean I have known them better?
"37 once tried to tell me my number.
소피아가 깊게 한숨을 내쉬었다.
She wrote it down and put it into a bottle, but I couldn't get up the courage to open it. I once made a horrible mistake. And it makes me worried that I may also be a mistake. So I threw the bottle into the sea.
바다에 던져버렸어요. 순찬하던 그녀는 발걸음을 멈추고 잠시 돌아섰다.
This is how 37 is different from us. We are all prisoners of that cave.
우리는 모두 동굴의 죄수예요.
Only the wise one can find her way out of the cave and return to rescue the rest of us. I'm the ignorant prisoner who sits, and she's the wise one who returns.
돌아온 현자.
I will be crushed into dust by the truth, while she will be the star shining above it.
소네토도 복중학습에서 이 우화를 접한 적이 있지만 이런 건 들어본 적이 없었다. 한숨을 내쉰 붉은 머리의 아가씨는 고개를 들고 바다 위로 반짝이는 밤의 장막을 바라보았다.
The truth is like the stars in the night sky. Beautiful, but cold.
37이 그런 존재라는 건가, 소피아에게.
It has been there long before my existence, and will stay that way long
내가
after I'm
사라져도
gone.
여전히 빛이 날 영원한 진리 같은 존재.
It sheds no tears for the weak, nor laments the tragic fate. It's forever bright, and always moving forward. The person who avoids the truth is not qualified to study it. I'm sorry. My interpretation has been emotional.
No. I think I kind of know how you feel, Miss Sophia. However unworthy you think you are, there must be something we can do. Maybe we can't reach the core of the truth, but we can clean up the path to it for the future explorers. This is our fate.
Interesting insight.
일조수의 삶을 이해하는구만.
I have come to understand why 37 likes you so much. Let us go back to work then. Start from dusting the tombstones.
Alright, I've had enough of these Sol Numa related idle topics. I want to have a look at your model. Wow, seriously? How did you get this far?
어떻게 한 거야? 레골루스가 참지 못하고 냉큼 다가가려고 했지만 37이 잽싸게 장치를 꺼버렸다.
This model has been proven wrong. For 4 whole years we had been optimizing it. But the emanation in 1929 only lasted for 2 days, which means our calculation was entirely a failure. That model is just like this computer. It's a piece of junk. And this is all I can present to you.
37이 쓸쓸한 표정으로 고개를 푹 숙였다.
No, it's not junk. I think I know why your model didn't work.
What?
어떻게?
Manus Vindicte has changed history.
인위적으로 맞아. 역사를 바꿨잖아, 걔네가.
They accelerated history, forcing historical events to happen earlier than they were supposed to. Thus, the storm in 1929 occurred sooner than it should.
No way.
눈을 크게 뜬 37의 어깨가 살짝 떨렸다.
Controlling the emanation. Changing the history of the outside world. Numa is eternal and transcendental. It won't obey any orders given from the phenomenal world. Neither will it change its patterns because of some fragments.
하지만 이미 벌어졌다고 밖에서는 실제로.
I'm telling the truth, 37. I've been there, in the storm of 1929. Your model was not wrong. You just missed some key information. You've never been to the place where the storm falls, and thus know nothing about the symptoms of the storm syndrome and the true purposes of Manus Vindicte.
No! That's impossible! Even if there are means to control the emanation, it wouldn't be like this. If this is true, does it mean the phenomenal world, this insignificant phenomenal world,
마침내 동굴 밖으로 나오는 순간인가, 지금이?
Mother's model was defeated by this?
그녀는 어려운 결심이라도 한 듯 창백한 얼굴로 양팔을 꽉 끌어안았다. 그리고 힘겹게 입을 열었다.
Vertin, could you give us proof?
The proof that Manus Vindictae accelerated history and triggered the emanation.
I swear I wasn't lying.
No, not like this. To prove it in front of Epiron. Go to our sacred place. To the Hall of Truth. In the depths of the cave. There, everyone can see the essence of the world.
세계의 본질을 볼 수 있다.
I beg you. Give them your proof, just like how we submit the proof of our soul number.
다음 화에게서 아하 소라가 있네.
Come here. Place your hand on it. Feel the texture. The craft is one of a kind, not some cheapie you can get from the flea market. I mean it. This is a Keelim, and even the most traditional, delicate, and expensive kind. It has applied fiery red as the dominant color, and the stitches are perfectly neat. Oh. From the sea, just like you, darling. It arrived with a meerschaum pipe, a glass jar, a pack of sugar cubes, and a child in panic. Both she and the Keeling were born on the land where the craft originated. Their appearances apply the same dominant color, and the patterns in them share similar complexity. Oh, your curiosity is aroused. But we are not done with the carpets yet. You've always got to get a souvenir or two every time you reach a new place. So you will have something to show when you tell the stories one day, right? Look at these handmade fabrics. How splendid! Those incredible patterns were the only thing on the craftswomen's minds when they made the carpets. It's safe to say they have spent their whole life improving their skills at using the vertical loom. And that's how we get these carpet knots arranged in beautiful lines. But they are just people like us. What if they get distracted? What if the carpet knots go off the right track and get tied to the wrong threads? Then you will be in trouble. Big trouble. All the problems in the universe will come at you, and the situation will be even worse than the bureaucratic system of a millennial empire. I like the pragmatic quality in you. I'm sure it will make your life even more wonderful. The people will be impressed and line up to tackle the problems for you. Oh, don't be mad. Some make troubles and others deal with the troubles. That happens. You know, every question has a questioner when they are raised. Likewise, every error has a corrector when they are corrected. That's how we get to know them. The correctors, an ancient profession. Their duty is to remove the loose threads and iron out the wrinkles on the carpets. In the language of this island, that is to check the calculations on the papyri and even the holes on the punched tapes. No one is capable of doing this job except the altruists, because it is similar to unraveling a ball of wool. Besides finding the end of the threads, you must always pay attention to the cats. Yes, the cats. They may jump on the ball and make things even worse. And she, the red-haired little girl with the carpet in her arms, was overwhelmed at the beginning. Not yet familiar with the ruler, she tried her best to find the end of the threads. So the cats took the opportunity to jump on her together and left countless scratches on that little forehead. Poor girl. That's See, that's the problem every corrector has to deal with. Their job is to correct errors. But what if their own existence is also part of the errors? Oh, it's no big deal. There is more than one loom in this world. She left the complicated patterns behind and came to this simple kingdom featuring numbers only. There she made the first contact with a spinning loom named Geometry. She had never seen anything like that before, and it was almost impossible for her to comprehend how it worked. She could hardly convert the numbers on the books into an actual diagram in her brain. Without a whole picture of what she was working on, she resorted to her hard work and more hard work. Then a long time passed, leaving one wound after another on her fingers. Later, the wounds even became calluses. In the end, her hands were no longer tender, but tough enough to resist the damage from the loom. Yes, she has won a place on this island for herself. Yes, she's a quick learner. She learned even faster than some of the locals. But that was not enough, because she has been outmatched by her playmate, the leading one in the field of mathematics on the island. That girl is like a perfect piece of satin born by nature. It is decorated by the beauty of mathematics and geometry. No manual work involved. In order to reach the showcase where that perfect piece lies, and to stay on the right track and fit into the school, she has done everything she could. But, she is still the most distinctive carpet there. Anyone can tell that as long as they spend some time on the island. Oh, of course not. She's only a bit different from others. So she will continue to weave on the loom until one day the spindle pierces her callus and the fire burns everything to the ground. Shh. I should stop here. You know that mathematician who was thrown into the sea? He died because he said something he shouldn't have. Cut not wood on a public road. Open not an unwanted bottle. I don't know what to say next. I guess the best line for this circumstance is, see you later.
여전히 이해할 수 없구만. 거슬러 오르는 배. 여기부터는 이제 스토리 쭉 또 이어질 것 같으니까 일단은 18까지 보고 이제 원시엔 특별방송 보러 갈 준비해야지. 아, 재밌다. 뭔가 딱 흥미진진한 부분 마무리되는 데서 끝난 것 같아서 이제 거친 파도가 올 것 같구만. 여기서부터 내일 이어서 해야지. 저기는 아무튼 1일차 두 번째 녹화 동굴 속의 죄수 기하학 나라 수학 나라 뭔가 어렵지만 이런 아방가르드한 거 가끔 먹으면 맛있어. 여기서 일단 녹화 종료.